Hey guys, I hope everybody's having a fantastic day. Whether you watch this in the morning, in the afternoon, or in the evening, I'm glad you're here. I want to take a quick second and shout out and say thank you to all the channel members. Thank you all so much. I appreciate you all. I want to say thank you for anyone who subscribes to the channel. And thank you to anyone who just comes in and checks out my knife, my EDC content. I really appreciate it. Today, I wanted to talk about my most recent top 10 pocket dropper, pocket carry EDC fixed blades. Starting here with number 10, a knife that I've started carrying a lot more lately. It really pairs well with this clip. This is the Brisa Scara 60 or Scara 60. It's a little finish knife. Made in RWL 34 steel. Really good knife. Super sharp, super slicey. Let me move the kitty cat. Super sharp, super slicey. You've got this nice micarta handle with a lanyard tube. You've got these G10 liners to give it a little more color. And you've got a very thin, flat ground blade. Let's see. Let me get all that paper out of there. Sorry about the cat. So just very flat, great blade geometry. Slice through just about anything. Whether you're field dressing an animal, whether you're breaking down cardboard, whether you're opening Amazon packages, regardless of what you're doing, the Scar 60 is a great little cutter. It is small yet robust. When I say robust, I mean it's got a nice thick handle, has a really nice Kydex sheath with really tight retention. This knife locks in like a champ. And then I've just got this simple clip on it I picked up on Amazon. I just drop it in my pocket, in my right pocket or my back pocket. And for size comparisons today, we're just going to look at these guys next to a Sharpie. And the Brisa Scar 60 is going to be on the smaller size, and it's going to come in right around the size of a Sharpie. But that'd be our number 10 knife, which brings us to our number 9. And our number 9 is this little guy right here. This is my Griffin Co. made by Bestech S35VN Scout Medic. The Scout Medic is the smallest fixed blade Griffin Company offers. It came with a little Kydex sheath and a little ulti-clip. I picked up this Oak City leather slip for it that has an ulti-clip built into it, and it makes for a great pocket dropper. This is kind of a cross between an EDC fixed blade and a street scalpel. I look at it more of a street scalpel type of blade, but it'll do anything you need it to do. Very nice blade geometry. I've got another one of these, the Scout 2.5, coming up on this list, but just great little pocket droppers. This is the Scout Medic, the smallest of the Griffin Scout fixed blades. Great little knife. It's going to come in right under the size of our Sharpie, but still give you a full 4-finger grip. Great little full tang fixed blade. I carry it in Oak City leather slip. It is a winner. That brings us to the Bark River MicroCanadian. The MicroCanadian is interesting in that this is an easy sheath to drop in your pocket. You can also put an ulti-clip on it. I have, even though I call it a pocket dropper, I have been carrying it the way it was intended on my belt because it carries so high and it does not get in the way at all. The sheath just seems to be perfect for that. But this is a little 3V compound ground knife from Bark River that is ergonomically delightful. It has a therapeutically slicey compound grind that is very, very slicey whatever your use case is going to be. It's got a thick spine. It's got a full tang. Has a great blade shape. This one is in micarta with lime green liners, G10 liners. And size-wise, it's going to be just a little bit smaller, maybe a 1/16 of an inch smaller than our Sharpie, but a great little pocket dropper. I can literally just take this, it retains so well, and stick it in my back jeans pocket. But usually I find myself putting it on my belt because it does carry so well. So that's 10, 9, 8, brings us to number 7. And number 7 is my Boker Barlow BFF. This was one of my first really nice EDC fixed blades that I really wanted for a long time, that I saved up for. This little guy is in AEBL. It is extremely slicey. I put a really nice 18-degree edge on it, up that bevel a little bit, but you've got a nice swedge, nice stonewash finish. The sheath on this knife, in my opinion, is just perfect. Goes in your pocket and hangs it just perfectly. Whether you carry it on the outside or like me, you carry it on the inside. I carry it on the inside of my pocket, usually in my back pocket. And it's the Boker BFF, just a perfect size, medium, small to medium sized fixed blade knife. It's going to come in about a 1/2 inch longer than our Sharpie, which means it's going to be about 6-inch long knife. So that's about the size range of these little guys, because they are pocket droppers. Some of them are a little smaller, some of them are a little bigger. But coming in at number 6, I think we said number 6, is the Boker BFF. Just a really good knife. Alright, so that brings us to number 5. And number 5 is another Griffin Company. I guess you'd call it an entry. This is the Griffin Company Scout 2.5. Also OEM by Bestech. Also a really tall flat ground blade. When you look at it next to the Scout Medic, you'll see some of the similarities, but to me, the Griffin 2.5 is more of a usable EDC knife that could replace, if you needed it to, your folding knife. Has a really tall, flat ground S35VN blade. Super slicey. You can get replaceable scales for this. You can get custom sheaths for these, like I did for my little Scout over there. The Kydex that it ships with and the Ulti-Clip are just fantastic. This knife rides very well in my pocket. The retention is great, and the deployment is next level. It'll shoot the sheath across the room or keep it in your pocket. But this is the Scout 2.5, one of the larger knives on our list. You'll see it's going to clock in longer than that Sharpie. It's going to come in right at 6.5 inches. A 6.5 inch, what I consider a fixed blade that will replace your primary carry. If nothing else, it makes for a great accessory pocket carry. So moving on, I think that brings us to number 5. And number 5 could be a much higher rated knife. And it's also going to be one that's a little bit longer. But it's probably one of the most premium knives in this collection that we're talking about here, these 10. This is the Boker Daily Carry AK1. It is an RWL 34. It has a concealed lanyard there where you can take the scale off and you can flip that lanyard peg around. It is an absolute scream demon slicer, whether you're slicing vegetables, foraging, slicing food, slicing cardboard, slicing paper, slicing game, whatever you're slicing, this knife is slicey. It is light. It is ergonomically, dare I say, perfect. It perfectly fills my hand. If you had a larger hand, I think the lanyard would come in very, very handily. It it is a little bit larger knife. So it's going to be larger than our Sharpie. And it's going to come in right around 6.5, 6 3/4 inches. Reverse Tanto blade, tall flat ground, made in solids in Germany. Really nice sheath with an ulti-clip pocket dropper built into it. Fantastic knife. Which brings us to number 4. I believe we're at number 4. Yeah. So guys, number 4 is a knife I'd catch a lot of grief about, but I don't mind. It's a small little knife. They make great pocket droppers. I've got 2 of them here. The Jakeb creates Chickadees that are riding in Oak City leather slips. I've got a 3rd Chickadee that is riding in Kydex. This one's 20 CV, micarta. This one's S90V full flat, belt satin with micarta, and this one's G10 and MagnaCut. These guys are small, but they are very slicey. The blades are very thick and usable. The tips are very acute, whether you're pulling splinters out of your hand, whether you're having to puncture things. These little knives are small but mighty. I picture it kind of as like a mini Bowie knife, a mini camp knife, because it really does live up to that type of hard work should you need it. I can carry it appendix style, or like I do most often, is carry it in one of the Oak City leather slips. Very small knife, very small footprint. A good accessory or enhancement to my primary carry. Some days, depending on what I'm doing, it could easily be a primary carry. But I love this knife, and that's going to come in at number 5. So that's 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. That was number 4, which brings us to number 3. And number 3, I used to carry this in an Oak City leather slip, but I like it because it's so thin in the Kydex sheath that they shipped with. This is the Denney Apprentice is. So this is an Apprentice Gen 1. I fell in love with this knife when I saw it on Instagram, when I talked to Tyler and realized what he was doing, what he was making. This one was a MagnaCut with an acid etch finish with vintage caramel micarta. And this is a Gen 1, so you'll notice it's pinned together, and you'll notice that that sharpening choil comes back, or that plunge grind comes back to where you've got about 1/4 to 1/2 inch. The Gen 2, this is belt satin crew wear. They do belt satin on both versions, but he went to a screwed on scale as opposed to the pin, so that the scales can be one day possibly swappable. And then he moved that plunge grind considerably back. So now you've got over 1/2 inch to sharpen where you had 1/4 inch there before. Just further enhancing the usability and the functionality of the knife. This one's crew wear. This one's MagnaCut. They are super thin little harpoon bladed slicers. So whether you're needing a detail cutter, or you're needing a cardboard breaker downer, or heaven forbid somebody steals your Slurpee, these knives are finesse cutters. They are so thin that there's not much that I don't think you couldn't cut with them. Done very well. I'm a huge fan of Tyler Denney and his creations, and the Apprentice is his main creation. I urge you guys to check them out. I have no affiliation with T. Denney Knives. I've just bought a couple of their knives, and the best way to buy them is to follow them on Instagram and watch for when he's got his drops coming. You can choose when you order them what type of clip you want with it. I chose a discrete carry clip. On my first one, I got an ulti clip. They're both great. They're both perfect pocket droppers. I typically carry them in my back pocket. Sometimes I'll carry it in my left pocket, and it's going to be right around the size of a Sharpie. So it's right in there. We're going to call it right around 5.5 inches, We didn't measure the Chickadees, but they're all right at 5 inches. Probably on the smaller size of what we got in here. But that brings us to number 3, guys. Number 3 is one of my all-time favorite fixed blades that I've just fallen in love with. This is the Best Tech version of the Big Idea Company Lookout. They're a little small fixed blade designed up in Chattanooga, Tennessee. They have done one run of these successfully, I think about 700 units that are USA made with micarta. They come in a nice box with a leather sheath. They run right at 300. This one was right around 250. It's shipped with 2 sheaths, a left-handed and a right-handed. And if you know anything about Big Idea Design Company, they are really known for what they can do with their titanium. And the way that they integrated this interchangeable clip between this right hand and the left-handed sheath is just next level engineering perfection. And it lets the knife carry so much deeper, and it just carries so well. This knife has titanium handles. I wouldn't mind it if it was lighter, if it had micarta handles. Doesn't need it at all. It is nice and toothy. It is slicey as you would ever want it to be. Flat ground. Nice size in the hand. Nice feel with the weight. Perfect balance. Just a great little knife. The Lookout's a knife that I did not expect that I would love as much as I do, but I really do. It's quickly become one of my favorite EDC carries. Comes in right at 6 inches, so it's a smaller little knife. The clip makes it just a joy to carry, and it's my number 2. Number 1 is going to go to the guy that's been getting the most carry time, and this is a knife that was sent to me to review. I checked it out, really liked it, so much so that I sold one of my American-made knives that I really like so I could buy this knife from Andrew, the gentleman selling it. He didn't have that many of them. This is the Lucky Dog, which is the brand. This is the RanchDog, which is the spay blade. These are knives that Andrew designed, and he had a fellow by the name of David Mary build these in Canada. So they're handmade in Canada in CPM 3V, heat treated at 60 HRC. This knife in the Wingay and the Bacati wood just spoke to me. He sent it to me. It's got a deep concealment clip that allows the knife to carry very deeply. It's got super retention in the sheath, and it is just a fantastic design. It looks like a butter knife, but don't let that fool you. It's got a very pokey point, and it's got a very acute cutting edge. It's great for farm work, for yard work, for EDC work, for anything that you're going to use to cut, whether it's a box, whether it's paper, whether it's whatever it's going to be. This little knife will soldier through it. It's just a basic bitch cutter. So just a straight spay blade with a very sharp tip that you can just literally run through material. I've run it through so much material in the last week and a half, and it just keeps cutting. I've not stropped it. I've not sharpened it. Haven't needed to. He kept it real toothy. That's how they like to keep these little knives at my request. I want to say it's about 600 on the grit. So just a really nice little knife. This is the Lucky Dog RanchDog. They've got a few of these left in stock. I don't think they have any more of the wood. I think they've got the canvas micarta and one of the other micartas. They also have this in a guard dog that has what they call a sheep's hawk blade, which is kind of like a cross between I call it kind of like a hawkbill blade. But guys, these are my top 10 pocket droppers that I've been carrying lately, that I'm really enjoying, that are quickly becoming my favorite go-tos. I don't have to look all around for them. I've got a ton of fixed blade knives that I just love. Don't get me wrong. And I like carrying different knives to mix it up. But when it comes to just consistency and what I'm going to throw in my pocket, because I know I'm going to need something done, right? It's typically one of these knives. These knives just fit the size ratio, they fit the need ratio in being great cutters, and they just are cool. I enjoy them. They carry well. They're non-obtrusive. And like I say, most importantly, they are slicey as all shit. So we've got Jakeb Creates Chickadee, the Brisa Scara 60, the Boker AK1, the Scout, Griffin Scout Company 2.5, excuse me, the Bark River, MicroCanadian 3 and 3V, the Scout Medic by Griffin Company, the Boker Barlow BFF, the Denney Apprentice Gen 2, the Big Idea Design Co. Lookout, and the Lucky Dog RanchDog Spade Blade and 3V. Guys, thank you for checking out the content. I hope you found it informative, informational, somehow entertaining. If you're so inclined, please hit that subscribe button down there. Please hit that bell notification icon. If you're watching it the day it came out, Friday, stop by Knives Friday Night Flicks tonight at 8:15. I do a live stream. We hang out. We have a giveaway or two. Just chat, talk knives, talk life. Love to have you stop by. Most importantly, please look out for the guy or gal to your left. Please look out for the guy or gal to your right. Please look out for one another. Go forward with love in your hearts and choose debate, not hate. I love you all. Peace.